Hello everyone, my name is Bryson Delbridge, and today I'm going to be telling the storyline of the Star Wars movie from just the original trilogy, and also the reason why I truly love Star Wars. This movie is brought to you by Bryson Delbridge. Now here's an image of Bryson from high school without a beard for your enjoyment. So we are going to talk about the original trilogy that was made by the one and only George Lucas. The original trilogy is from the 1970s, and it is by far the best trilogy made out of all the Star Wars movies so far, between the prequels and the sequels that are currently being made by Disney. I decided to keep it to just the originals today because the originals are the best, and with the time that I have, I would only be able to talk about the originals in just the enough detail that I can get into this video. The prequels are really good too, though, and I truly recommend those. I don't recommend the Disney movies yet because they're not completely done and they're not complete in storyline, and we don't know how it ties with the original trilogy yet. So I don't think Disney has done a very well job with that yet, but hopefully Episode 9 can be a turnaround for them. So the reason that I truly love Star Wars is that my mom showed me Star Wars, and it's something that we both really love and enjoy. My mom was the one who showed me Star Wars, and I don't know what I would do without it. My mom has seen every Star Wars movies in theaters from when she was really young till just most recently with the most recent release of the Solo movie in theaters. And then hopefully we can go see Episode 9 together as well around Christmas time this year. She loves the original trilogy, which is from the 70s, the best. Then she likes the prequel trilogy in the early 2000s. And I'm the same way. I'm an original trilogy baby. I love the ones from the 70s. And I love the prequels. I love the Clone Wars. It's an awesome concept to tie both those trilogies together. I think our favorite memory out of Star Wars movies, though, is in Return of the Jedi when Luke is able to bring back Darth Vader, who's his father, from the dark side. We love this because it's a metaphor showing that no matter what you did, you can always be saved. And plus, who doesn't love Han Solo, Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, and Chewbacca from the original trilogy? So now that you guys know why I truly love Star Wars, let's kind of head back toward the point of this video, which is telling you guys the storyline of the original trilogy. So all the Star Wars movies that have been currently made are all based off the Skywalker storyline. Okay, so we go from the prequels with Anakin Skywalker, and he was the chosen one, to Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia. They're both Skywalkers in the original trilogy, to now where we're in the sequels with Kylo Ren, who is Princess Leia's son, so he also has the Skywalker heritage within him because his grandfather was Darth Vader. It's really interesting to see how the entire Star Wars saga has been based around just the Skywalkers for quite some time now. So now jumping into the original trilogy, the first episode of the original trilogy was called A New Hope. Now, the basic summary that's given for the movie talks of how Darth Vader is holding Princess Leia hostage in efforts to quell the rebellion against the Galactic Empire. Okay. And with Luke Skywalker and Han Solo work together with R2-D2 and C-3PO, which are two droids, to rescue the beautiful princess and help the Rebel Alliance restore freedom and justice to the galaxy. Great summary of the movie, but it's missing a lot of details. We see that in this movie, Obi-Wan Kenobi start to train Luke to become a Jedi. Obi-Wan Kenobi was Luke's father's master and guider as well, being a Jedi. And it's really cool to see him train both Anakin, who's now Darth Vader, and Luke Skywalker through this. So Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke actually find Han to go try to save Princess Leia in this movie. But they find that she's on the Death Star, which Obi-Wan Kenobi knows that that's where Darth Vader is, his old apprentice. Now, they get onto the Death Star, and they do indeed save Leia. But Obi-Wan Kenobi has to confront Vader again, and this time he loses. Vader goes to strike Obi-Wan Kenobi down, but before he does, Obi-Wan Kenobi becomes one with the Force. And Luke, Leia, Han, and Chewie, and R2-D2 and C-3PO are able to escape the Death Star and to go to the Rebel base to then launch an assault on the Death Star, which they do destroy the Death Star. And there's peace for a while, thinking that they had won just this merely battle, until the next movie comes out where everything changes. So the next episode in the original trilogy is called The Empire Strikes Back, and you can only imagine, listening to the title, what's going to happen in this movie. So successfully, the Rebels have destroyed the Death Star in the previous movie, but the Empire quickly launches an assault on the Rebel base that's on the planet Hoth. And they take major casualties, but they all manage to escape to get off. So Luke goes to find Master Yoda, who is the last Jedi alive to complete his training to become a Jedi. And while this is all happening, Han, Leia, Chewie, and C-3PO are trying to escape the Empire in the Millennium Falcon. And they're just on a wild goose chase, trying to also escape the bounty hunter Boba Fett. So while they're escaping the Empire, Luke is finding Master Yoda on Dagobah, and he does indeed find him, and he starts training to become a Jedi. And while he's training to become a Jedi, Han, Leia, and Chewie, and C-3PO go to Lando, which is Han's friend, on the cloud planet called Bespin, where they try to take shelter there from the Empire, which ends up backfiring when Lando made a deal with the Empire to let them live if Han Solo was given to the bounty hunter Boba Fett. So then Han Solo was frozen in carbonite and given to the bounty hunter Boba Fett. And Luke Skywalker, through the Force, realizes that his friends are in danger. So he goes to Bespin, the Cloud City where they're at, and he confronts Vader in a fight. And Vader wins by cutting his hand off and then revealing to Luke that he is his father. And that's how episode 5 wraps up. So the last episode of the original trilogy is called Return of the Jedi. Okay, so some time has passed. Han Solo is frozen in carbonite still, and Luke is gone trying to complete his Jedi training to become a complete Jedi after losing his duel with Darth Vader for the first time. So we see this movie start off with Leia and Lando and even Luke doing a rescue mission for Han to save him from Jabba the Hutt. And we see now that Luke has completed his training. He's constructed a new lightsaber, and he is now a Jedi Knight. Luke and Leia and Han and Lando all escape from Jabba the Hutt, and they go on to start preparing to fight the Empire for a second time, because the Empire at this time is building another Death Star, and it's much bigger. So while the Rebels are playing an assault, a ground and air assault, on the Death Star, Luke gives himself to Vader again, knowing that he's not going to fight him, knowing the truth that he is his father and he was trying to turn him to the good again. So the Rebels attack the Endor base, which housed the Death Star's shield generator, and while that was happening, Vader and Luke were fighting on the second Death Star in front of the Emperor himself, while there was another Rebel fleet actually attacking the Imperial fleet outside the Death Star. So it's an amazing sequence to where we do see the Rebels on Endor do win, and they get the Death Star shield down. The Rebel fleet is able to then attack the Death Star too and destroy it. But before they do that, Luke is able to turn his father from the dark side back to the good, and Darth Vader kills Palpatine. And we see that Vader has now turned back to the good because of Luke. And Vader dies, being good again. And then the movie ends with there being peace. And I just want to thank you for listening to my movie. I got to give credit for all these pictures to Wikipedia and Pinterest. That's where I pulled all my pictures from. And thank you again for listening to my story on the original trilogy of Star Wars.